Hi all, welcome to weekly market report by J2wealth. So this week the Sensex has ended at 24,852 and the Nifty has ended at 81,183. The Indian stock market ended Friday's session lower, snapping a 3-week winning streak. As investors remain cautious ahead of the US job data release that would determine the Fed Reserve interest rate cut. Chair of the Fed Reserve, Mr. Jerome Powell, recently supported the notion to reduce interest rate cuts as there are concerns about a weakening labor market. On to the world market news. In the US, chipmaker Nvidia plunged more than 9% in a single trading session, leading semiconductor stocks lower on a sell-off in Wall Street. Economic data published last Tuesday resurfaced jitters about the health of US economy. Around 279 billion was wiped off of Nvidia on Tuesday. This was the biggest one-day market capitalization drop in US history. On to the Indian market news. Foreign investors have nearly invested 7,320 crores in the month of August. They have taken a cautious stance because of high valuation of stocks as well as because of yen carry trade after Bank of Japan has raised their interest rates. Mankind Pharma Limited are set to raise nearly 9,000 crores in the form of NCDs and short-term commercial paper as it ties up its financing for the acquisition of Bharat Serums and Vaccines Limited. India is expected to surpass the US in the number of software developers by the year 2027, driven by its growing IT sector and its startup ecosystem. A recent study conducted by SEBI shows that people who are applying for IPO want to make quick gain. People who get shares allotted in the IPO sell it within a week, while 70% sell it within a year. SEBI is likely to bring stricter norms in the derivatives segment as retail investors lose up to 50,000 crores every year. Moving on to stock specific news, Vedanta are going to raise nearly 1.5 billion via bonds to help their company's delisting. Hero Motocorp may pump nearly 900 crores into their Bengaluru startup company for three-wheeler foray. The centre plans to allocate more than 6,000 crores for BSNL for the much delayed 4G rollout. Adani Power is planning to triple their capacity in their Kawai plant in Rajasthan by investing nearly 18,000 crores. Reliance is preparing for a big capital infusion. They are going to invest nearly 3,900 crores into their FMCG segment, which would be a combination of equity as well as debt. So they want to compete against their competitors like ITC, Coca-Cola, Adani, Wilmar, so they are doing this. Suzlon Energy have sold their Pune headquarters for nearly 440 crores, One Business Park Private Limited, and they have leased it back for another 5 years. The Indian IT sector has reported a 6% revenue gain per head in the first quarter of 2025. The market outlook for next week would majorly depend upon the US job data release as well as Bajaj Housing Finance are coming up with their IPO. And if you see in the last Tuesday when the US markets took a great plunge, the Indian markets were not affected in a great deal. So the Indian market is still very optimistic. That's it for this week's market report. To stay updated on financial content, financial news, subscribe to J2wealth.